Let's see. Okay, if I go into here, and we're gonna go into difficult realms. Go to difficult realms in YouTube. YouTube. Let's go with studio. Cool. Content. Private. Awesome. So it is private. And if I go back into here, I can go into start the Twitch. Let's see if it works. Okay. Let's see if we're going. Testing. Hello. 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 Oh. Perfect. First time doing this. We'll see how this is gonna go. First time for me and stuff. I've always wanted to kind of try to paint and see how it goes as I do it. There we go. Yeah, to try to paint and stuff and just have fun. I have some time to relax without my kids for a little bit. And it's kind of curious to see. Well, usually I have a lot more people and stuff, and now it's just myself and a paintbrush. So make sure, and it's my first time actually doing a lot on Twitch. I'm trying to get more into just all the platforms. So we'll see how this goes. I like painting, truth be told, and it's kind of a nice, quiet thing for me to be able to do. I need to work on some things, so my only concern is the chat. Because I don't know if I can see the chat. Let's go to see if I can see the chat. There we go. Yeah, I can. There we go. Let's get into painting. Whew. So today I'm working on this piece. I've been putting out a lot of pieces, trying to get some done for my local area, and trying to sell them and everything like that. And just have fun, trying to grow in my artistic abilities and stuff. This was one of the pieces that I actually finished up the other day, and I'm pretty happy with it. It has to do with going on an adventure and stuff, and then just waking up in the day and being super excited to kind of just go out and stuff and leave the comfort of your home and stuff and pursue, you know, what's out there for you and stuff. So I take a lot from this man, I guess, this picture. I don't know, I just kind of put it all together. And this is actually one of my first ones that I've done, actually, buildings. And it was really, I really enjoyed it a lot. I love just the feel of them and stuff, and how they just bring so much presence, you know. And I think they do provide a lot of comfort too, like buildings and stuff. It just, like, something about them, they feel like cool, organized, and, you know, you feel that comfort. But part of this painting that I did and stuff, I'm trying to figure out the title of it. Something like maybe like On an Adventure or something. But he basically is leaving the comfort of that space, of that confined space. Even myself, like, I used to work at a camp and stuff, and I loved it because I was so free in my realm to explore and stuff and just go wherever and do whatever. And then I came back to live in the city that I live in, and it just felt different. And I didn't want to lose that feelings of being out free and stuff. But what happens is life just goes and go into work and do things, and you just become programmed into this box of a space and stuff. So I like this painting just because I think it kind of shows that a little bit. You know, he's probably been in this space of this home, or this place that he's been at, and he's looking toward the road. He's not maybe looking toward the sky. He's looking toward the road as where it will take him and stuff. And it might not have the comforts. It will not have the comforts of these buildings or all the things that it has, like maybe running water, or I don't know if that's running water, but like just all the amenities that come with having a solid place. And I think what's beautiful too is the idea of the fact that, like, we are not home, you know. That OBS is blinking at me. Give me 1 second. Oh, perfect. I just needed to check something. So yeah, this world is not our home and stuff, and that we do have to get back onto that road because these places sometimes seem comfortable. These places seem comfortable, but they are not our true comfort and stuff. So that was a painting I did a while back and stuff, and I just finished it actually a couple days ago, and I was super happy about it. Kind of excited just to get it done as well. The paintings can be a bit of a challenge, but this is the one that I'm working on right now. Got some work to do on it and stuff, and been doing a lot of these little canvas paintings. So probably just be going through this and trying to see if I can get this centered. So yeah, we've been playing DC-20, me and my friends. It has been difficult. So as we all, you may know, DC-20 is a TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game, similar to D&D, and it is not fully out yet. So that is the struggle that we have been running into, because we're playing a game that's not all the way out. And I'm trying to allow my players to enjoy our games, but it's difficult because they really want things. Like, they want to not be at a small amount of health. They don't want to be at, they want to level up and stuff. So I'm going to attempt to try to paint and talk at the same time. If I kind of wander off, then it is what it is and stuff. But like I said, this is my first attempt at trying to paint and go live as well. So really hard to figure out how to kind of get things organized. But I need to get some work done on this. So, and I might even go into a tangent and start talking about how to paint, or painting and then stuff. But yeah, I enjoy the peace that it gives me. I have learned more. I've kind of moved more into painting and stuff, but let's see. Now to figure out where to go. Get some paint on the brush, and then you're like, okay, where should I go with this paint? Usually kind of look at things and be like, okay, I need this or I need that and stuff. That eye is bothering me by a lot. I was going to leave it, but I just need to kind of like, it's going to bug me for the rest of the painting time that I have. So I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit, make it look less. Like using these big giant brushes to try to capture the image. Yep, so we've been playing DC-20 and stuff. It's been all right and stuff. Like I said, it's been a bit of a challenge to kind of get going with it and stuff. Originally, when we first started, it was a learning process for me, and I think we ran the original adventure that Coach had put out, and it was a lot for me as a DM, like understanding actions and taking actions and stuff. I could not handle, like, here I was trying to run combat, and then I had all these like NPCs that I was trying to run at the same time, and I was like, I don't like this. I don't, I was like, I need to slow down a little bit. My go-to when it comes to being a DM for monsters is one big bagged brute. Like, I don't play a lot of magic users, and I think my players hate when I do. I think because I tend to kind of like fudge away on the rules. I'm like, yeah, and then my magic person does this, and yeah, and they're like, oh, well, that was, and it usually is to like make something thematic happen or change the way the story's going. So try to be careful, try not to. I try to kind of allow my players to really take in and enjoy. So yeah, I fixed that eye just so I don't have to worry about it too much. I also have way too much black on his eye it's a picture of myself. I need to get more people to take pictures of and put in. If you're ever interested, just give me a cool pose of a face and stuff and send it to me and stuff, and I'll try to utilize it in one of my paintings. I do adventure paintings. I'm doing these Western paintings because I've always been curious to try out these Western style. So I enjoy. Always been a big fan of Clint Eastwood. Is the only Western fella that olden time fella that I've enjoyed. But yeah, so now my players are going in and out and stuff of. We're kind of like engaged in it in some ways. We're excited about it. I like it. I'm excited about DC-20. And but it's hard because we got to continually press the brakes on our game. Like we get somewhere and it's like, yeah, we have to stop and we have to kind of wait for more levels, more subclasses. I'm sorry, I can't give you that, or I can't give you that yet. And it's not the coach's fault. It's our fault, obviously, because we're wanting to play it and it's not complete yet. And we're learning about it and stuff. We're also kind of growing as a channel and stuff on YouTube and as a space, and it's been fun. I really kind of like trying to understand how to be somebody in the streaming platform. It's been a interesting experience for myself. Like, I mean, I've worked majority of my life at places, and now here I am just trying to balance myself on my arts and my talents. And I don't like it, truth be told, just because it's not like a steady income. And I don't think it's supposed to be, really. Like, I don't think YouTube is supposed to be, you can make some money off of it. But I'm noticing a lot of these streamers, they're kind of chasing after other things. And so I'm trying to position myself in that same way, is just pursuing it. Like, I feel like DC-20, you can really teach people the game easier than D&D. I don't know, because I think some people have said that, like, oh, it's a little more complicated. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think it is as complicated as D&D. I think is a little bit more complicated, whereas DC-20, I mean, it was hard to learn. No, it wasn't hard to learn. I think it was just difficult, overwhelming all at once. Because like I said, for a DM wise, yeah, I think it's difficult to kind of like process a lot of what's going on. Usually when I'm painting and stuff, I like to just straight throw color on. So you can see, like, I just chunked a bunch of white on here and stuff, but I don't really care because I'm going to go back over it and stuff with other colors and stuff and just get rid of it. It's mainly to refine some things, like, and even this right here isn't probably going to be too much color. Like I said, I'm going to talk a lot about my painting somewhat, my painting style. But yeah, I just bleed it out with my finger and stuff, and then boom, I have a nice little flavor of the white inside the eyebrow, and then you have some of that color a little bit still left in there. So let's keep going. Easy. It's really, painting is, it just depends. I think like as you go and stuff, you gain an understanding and a feel for it. You know, it's like with controllers. You know, if I hand my son the controller to a video game, he won't go in the right direction, or he won't whatever and stuff. But if you put it in the hands of somebody who's been playing video games for their life and stuff, and they know how to just move the buttons and everything. And the same thing for myself. Like, I've been painting for so long that I've kind of have a touch and a feel for the paint, how I want it to lay and everything. So I like doing this and stuff, and I'm glad that I still have eyes to see and a mind to comprehend, because I know as age goes and stuff, I'll probably start losing that stuff, and I won't be able to see my own paintings. But yeah, let's get back into DC-20. So as a DM and stuff, and I was learning how to play, when I was learning how to play it and stuff, it was a lot, yeah, because we had all those the original adventure, which was go. And the adventurers are in a venturing guild, I believe. And then they had these other enemy adventuring guild people that, like, I guess didn't like them or something like that. And so they would have to compete against them. I'm probably saying it all wrong, but But basically, you had a couple of NPCs that were similar, different spread of abilities, which was hard as well. Like having that many different spread of abilities, a spellcaster or what's called, having all those spreads, and then trying to ruffle through all those character sheets that was given in that, as well as try to balance out the action points system and stuff, as well as keep track of their health, as well as keep track of the players, as well, and run it for the first time for them, and they have questions. It was like I just kept falling on my face, and I was like, okay, we're gonna figure this out, guys. Got to so many times where I was like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out. And so it was a rough one for the first one, and I was totally glad that we kept going with it, because originally, like when I first ran it, and I was kind of like talking to my wife, I was like, do you think I'm making a good decision? And I was like, you know what, just give it some time and stuff like that. Like, you've tried a lot of things and you always said the same thing. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I probably should just give it a little bit of time and enjoy, take my time and just try to. And so we ran our next one and it got better, and I ran our next one and it got better and stuff. And I was like, there's a point where, like, when you're running these games, these new systems, you kind of like are trying to kind of put your head down and read and understand and play it right. But then that was how I was from the first day. And I was like, oh my gosh. And there was a lot of rules taking into. But then the next day, I think I kind of relaxed it a little bit. I was able to relax it a little bit and push away a little bit and kind of be like, I'm a DM. I've DM'd for a lot of games, and kind of allow my abilities to kind of come out. Like, I think you think when you're playing these new systems that you're playing a whole new thing. The mechanics may be a little bit different, but like I said, I think for D&D and DC-20, you're still kind of playing, a similar-esque D&D. You're still playing a similar D&D, and it kind of I think my next time when I ran it and stuff, I was kind of more relaxed about it and stuff, and just like said, let's just play. Like, we're playing, the same thing, but like, hey, cool, skill challenges, boom. Okay, I used one actually. I started to get more into it, started to relax a lot more and stuff, and take it easy, and just allow it to play. Like, if we start flowing back and forth from playing D&D to DC-20, whatever, but gradually we started to get more into the games and the mechanics of it and stuff, and it was like, okay, cool. And every so often we would pull out something new. We'd be like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna want to do that. You want to do that? How does that work? And I would grace myself with time to be able to, like, let's stop and let's look at that stuff. And so we were also recording too, so we're kind of like, we didn't want to do too much, but we had fun with it, and we fudged a lot of rules. I'm not gonna lie. I wish. I'm like listening back to our episode and editing it. If you haven't listened to it, it's the windmill episodes that I'm going through and stuff. And originally, the one we started at was Shinsville, where our adventures had headed to Shinsville, and that was the beginning of it somewhat. And I was kind of on the fence about it. Because I was like, okay, maybe we can try to play test some of these rules, but not play it fully. So my players would still have D&D set health, but they would have they'd have D&D set health, but they would be running like action points and help actions and all that kind of stuff. And I realized, I was like, yeah, I need to kind of actually, we just need to play this. I need to give up the what's called. And I talked to my players about it and stuff, and they're like, yeah, if you want to do that, let's do it and stuff. And so I kind of was like, okay, well, if you guys are up for it, then let's do it. And it was hard because, like, I think like what happened was I saw Coach's videos, and I was excited because I was like, oh, that sounds actually really good. And then going into it, and I don't think I understood what that Kickstarter is. I just was like, cool, yeah, like, what I mean. This is the game is going to be here, and it's like, no, it's still development. It's still being developed, and it's like, oh, okay. And so I was like, okay, well, we got into it, and we're already playing it and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is good for us. You know what I mean? Like I said, I always wanted to kind of go more live on our shows and stuff, and be more go live on YouTube, or go live, do a podcast mainly. Was my original approach, but we kind of transcended over to YouTube first and stuff, and I've been doing that, and it's not too bad and stuff. Like, it's a learning process. It's a challenge, and I think truth be told, as like a content creator, you gotta have a right mind when it comes to those numbers. You gotta be very careful with those numbers and stuff. They can really screw you and kind of make it difficult for you to kind of understand, because I'm always like, oh, I want more numbers, I want more viewers, or I want more blah blah blah, and then I always get hit into the face with God kind of telling me, it's like, well, if you did have that many, how would you feel? And I was like, yeah, I know, I would probably feel like I want more. So I think being content with what you have, is the teaching that God has instilled upon me, and it is a good teaching. It's just be content with what you have. It's like happy with He has given you everything you need. One day He might be willing to give me more, but in that time comes and stuff. If He does, He does. If He doesn't, He doesn't. I am grateful just to enjoy and just be able to create. And, I have food on my table, and I have clothes on my body, and I am happy with that. So, yeah. So, and then now, like I said, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to kind of try out this painting, and now I'm doing it. I'm painting online. This is exciting. The only thing is that painting requires somewhat of a thinking, and that thinking is being taken up by my talking. So, forgive me. Rush through this. Let's see. So I usually like using bigger brushes, because you're like, I did a little bit amount. I need more. Okay. There. Just like making some weird shapes and stuff, and that's good. Getting the idea down. So it's all about just getting the idea down. Get that idea on that canvas. Have fun with it. Don't take it serious. That's what I do in my shows. I just don't take it serious nowadays. I'm like, whatever, you know what? Forget this. I give up. My players have stolen that from me. My desire to... like, yeah. I think it's the hard part when, like, in your TTRPG games and stuff, it's like your players do things and you're like, what? You're like, okay, I guess. Okay. I feel like if we can get more on here. This, if you guys are interested, I have a playlist, and it's all Christian rap music, and it is all corny. It's just straight up, everything is corny in it. So if you guys like corny Christian music, go check it out. I'll have to send it. Let me see if I have it on. Request it from me. I'll send it to you. My little playlist on SoundCloud. I love it. I love it. I grew up as a person who loved rap music and stuff, and I just had like a change of mind and thought and stuff, and missed the fact that I don't like to listen to the rap music that is out nowadays, or out in general actually. But I like the way that I'm able to kind of listen to these artists. They do a good job. They are not corny. I don't like corny music. My wife's gonna get on me. She's like, "You need to get some paintings done." Shouldn't talk bad. Talk to my wife much. My wife is a very lovely wife and stuff. I think I like to utilize her to kind of make my jokes. But no, she is good. She's encouraged me. We've done so much. We've done so much, and she helps me to kind of keep my mind focused when it comes to my paintings. I need to continue and work. I try not to spend too much time on paintings. I know that they only have so much worth, and my time is more important to me. I want to like flip this canvas around. I don't think I should. Try to do it without it. Yeah, so I try not to spend too much time with painting. Try to just do as much as I can to it, and then kind of move on to the next. It's not worth it sometimes. Like if I were doing a bigger canvas, this is not really that big of a canvas. You can see it's kind of like a hand and a little bit hand length long. Not that big really, about the size of my hand. So it'll be a nice little painting, but it's not gonna be for too much. It's more of me to learn my talents and stuff and get better, to get faster with the hand, with the brush, and just laying down inks. Get a drink, get some water. Okay. Let's see if I can't get more done. Come on. Let's do this. Okay. I'm gonna do some things. Yep. Trying to get rid of trying to clean up my stuff around here so I can do better, paint better. Let's see. Okay. Cool. So. One second, guys. See if I can. Okay. Where are you at? There you are. Okay. Trying to get rid of my. I have it on my my screen is like right ahead above me here, and so it kind of like I keep looking at it and it confuses me because it's backwards and stuff. And I'm like, stop looking at the screen and keep looking at the this thing, the painting. Yeah, so let's get into this. DC20. Let me see what color I have on my brush. Darker gray. DC20 has been pretty interesting. I've enjoyed it. I don't know how people do it. Like, there's like some guys online, and they're like building like these super powerful creatures, and I'm like, monsters, and I'm like, my players are not even there yet. I can't run these yet. I don't want to. You know, I think it's different for us. I think there's a lot of people who are already playing it and are already leveling up pretty high, and they're doing that because they're not. You know what I mean? They're not, I don't know. Either they are recording or they're not. I think I know a couple shows that are recording. They are, but they're trying to be very careful about what they do, which is the same thing for us. We're trying to be very careful of what we do. I'm trying to be careful not to kind of break the game or like give my players so much to where they're like, I'm sorry guys, I got to take that away from you guys. They got rid of it in this new version 0.9, so try not to, but I think you have to worry about when it comes to magical items, which is my thing I've been trying to do for them, giving them, so I can't give them level ups, or I don't want to give them level ups. So I give them magical items and stuff, but we've been at a stop, and we've also been running our Pokemon DC20, which I did not know where the heck it was going to go, and I actually like where it's going. I had no clue. When we first ran it, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like this. It's so difficult to try to flush out this story in Pokemon compared to like Fantasy Realm, where it's like it's easy for me to just have my players playing in as adventurers, fighting monsters. But now, like, they're Pokemon trainers, and for me, story-wise, it was just felt so just out of place. And the game mechanics obviously were a bit of a challenge to figure out for like catching Pokemon and stuff. It's all something I was like, I didn't want to have to kind of come up with rules or anything. I wanted it just to be a nice, fun, simple, hey, let's run, play DC20 rules, play Pokemon. I've done something similar. I actually ran D&D in Star Wars, but we had, I think, originally books to start out with. It just, like I said, it was, as I was going through, I was like, okay, I'm getting more involved into creating the Pokemon DC20, like how it would work actually. I am going to twist this painting out just to make it easy for myself to kind of try to paint on it. Cool. And I want to get some of it done. But yeah, it took a lot of work and stuff for us to kind of try to figure through a lot of these puzzles of like, okay, how does catching work? How does skill challenges work in Pokemon? You know what I mean? Like, if you're just going and walking through the wild and stuff, and how does battling work? You know, battling usually involves just one person battling one person, you know, most of the time. And so all of that was like, I think, like I said, just a bit of a challenge to kind of try to figure out. And but we kind of gradually went through it. The first game, I was like miserable. Will not lie to you. Plus, we were still learning how to set up our systems and getting used to that. We were having fun with it. I was having fun with my brother-in-law. We were sitting up on his computer, and I was all yelling at him. I don't yell. I was yelling at him. I was yelling at him. I was like, "You got 10 minutes. You got 5 minutes left for live. You got to." And then he was just like working the computer, just like. And then my sister-in-law would say something to him, and I'd be like, "Don't distract him. He needs to get this." So it was a fun experience because, like I said, it is not easy to be a streamer unless it's, you know, it's just if you're solo. Totally easy, not too bad. If you have any questions about doing that, you know what I mean, I can send you what I recommend getting because it's not much. And it's not too difficult to do, but doing it as like a group, having multiple mics, having the camera set up right, having the lighting set up, it is not an easy thing and stuff. And then that's just that. I'm not even going into kind of like actually getting people interested or anything into the show. Getting on YouTube, figuring out how all that works and stuff, making sure everything's running right, running the programs, running the music, adjusting the audio, everything is just like a fun thing. But my goal intentionally, and my goal has always been basically learn it, get it all set up. And I recommended this for everybody, is like, if you have a passion for it, then don't get to a point where you're like, cool, I'm going to get to like this many subscribers. I want to get to this many subscribers. I would recommend making your goal in YouTube, because I mean, you could, but you might not. But making your goal, getting it set up. Because if you can get yourself set up and you have everything you need, and you can do this and you can run it every week, and making sure like, hey, I can set it to a point to where I can run this. Like for our games, me and my wife's setup. It doesn't take much for me to set it up. I've done it enough times where we're like, yeah, cool, click it on, do it, okay? And it doesn't take much from our life, you know? I mean, that's I think where you want to be at. I'm gonna go into a talk tangent, and I'm gonna stop painting. But basically, that's what I would shoot for, and that's what we are shooting for, is basically just trying to get it all set up and getting it all so that we're like, cool, we have it fully set up. We can keep doing this all day, and then we can gradually just add little pieces to make it better, you know. And we're not going anywhere. We're not, you know, it's not doing anything and stuff. We're not need it to be something before a certain time, you know. We can just continually just have fun with it. We can take it easy and stuff. So, because and the truth is and stuff, like if you came in, and I you know, maybe I don't know, I barely have any subscribers, but I would assume that if you're going into it thinking that, cool, we're gonna get paid, you know what I mean, we're gonna get good, you know what I mean, I don't think YouTube is fully that, you know. I think you're gonna get, it's gonna be beneficial, but you got to be able to work it, you know what I mean. Like I said, I see content creators out there who are doing more things than just that, you know what I mean. And it's like, as if you know, you're not just gonna, like with us, we're not just gonna be able to set up the camera and do this and stuff. And I think we're gonna get followers. I think we're gonna get people following us, but I don't think we're gonna make as much money as we would like in it. So to be told, we're pursuing a lot of things in this, you know what I mean, and trying to try our hand out in a lot of different things and learn things. So learn a lot of it and stuff. So I'm learning and stuff, and like being in front of a camera, recording and stuff. I've never done this before. I never talked into what's called mic before. Growing up, I was like scared as heck to talk to people. But by the grace of God, I am in front of not actually in front of a camera. I get in front of a camera when we do our live shows. But I'm in front of painting in front of a camera, which is something also I didn't like doing too. It's painting in front of people. I get very self-conscious and stuff in my painting. But yeah, just being able to do things and stuff like that, it was hard for me. But yeah, getting to learn to do that. And like I said, what we're hoping to do and stuff, and we're kind of trying to push to the option and stuff, is basically like building the realm of TTRPG around us, you know, in our area. And I think it's kind of difficult because I think TTRPG is a little scary to the world. And I shouldn't say TTRPG, but Dungeons and Dragons is scary to the world. You know, I think that shouldn't be the case. I think because I mean, it's. I try to explain to people, and like Dungeons and Dragons, it is like you're role playing. You're playing a character and stuff. It's like, let's see. I explained it to my sister pretty well the other night. I would say that I said to my sister, I said, you know, it's like if you were playing Catan. I said, if you're playing Catan, there are mechanics in this game, and you have to follow the rules, but you're being more of a character in it. you're having more like, so say if you're this fellow that has land on this area of Catan, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna steal your land, and or I'm gonna build a road here, and then the other guy's like, well, I'm not gonna let you build a road here, I'm planning on building a road on my next turn. That's basically what a lot of it is. You know what I mean? There's mechanics that we are playing off of. The one that we're playing off of is DC20. We're not playing D&D anymore, thankfully. Praise the Lord. I should praise the Lord. But yeah, we're not playing D&D anymore and stuff, and playing DC20. That's the game mechanics, and then we are just bringing our personalities and stuff. So bringing our personalities and stuff. I'm grateful because the reason why we are doing our show and stuff, and a lot of it God sent wise for myself to kind of realize was the people that I have around me. My sister, she's a very talented artist, and so that's something that we utilize in our shows when we do the animations. My brother, both brother and sister are do theater, so they're used to kind of like acting and doing voices and talking and stuff and being more vocal. And then my buddy Pete, he's really cool. He does he does music. He messes around with music and makes different things. So he's made a couple of our stuff for us. And so I think and then myself, I did storytelling. I don't know why I took it in college, but I was looking to fill credits, and I took storytelling class, and I really got into it a lot. And I was like, wow, there's something. And then I look back and I realize I'm like, wow, we have the skills and talents. And the other thing too was we would a lot of times before we even doing any of this, we were running a lot of Halloween parties that we really enjoyed. We'd build things and do a lot of cool decorations and just have fun. We weren't tending to kind of do heinous things that you would go to a actual haunted house and see. We were doing things fun, we were doing a zombie apocalypse, and I had all my friends, we were all dressed up like zombies, and we had Nerf guns, and you'd go around. It was a circus, and you'd have to collect and play the carnival games to gain bullets to fight them. And then we also had just a escape room, and we had a lot of fun things and exciting. It just involved you into it. So that was something I was like, wow, I had to really have a passion for that, and bringing it back. Like I said, I feel like God has really called me into this because of what He's put me around, and it's I have a desire, I have a passion to create, and I'm not going to just sit on it. But if God requested me to just sit and just not, then I would do that. Or if He pushed me or pulled me into a different direction, I would. The fact I think that I have a family too, my kids and my wife and stuff. I'm here and I get to spend and I get to be with them, but then I also get to do these kinds of things and stuff. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to do this thing right here. The color's all crazy and weird and stuff in here. I got to get black in here probably. So let's go ahead and do that. So yeah, so we're super excited. We're going to be making a lot more stuff. We're just not going to stop. I'm excited because we're going to be running one of my games that I've played in the past. We've played some Paranoia. I don't know if anybody knows that is, but that is a very fun and interesting game to play. But we're going to be playing it in the month of June and stuff. So we're having this thing, and it's another opportunity for us to kind of learn and grow in how things work online, how things work through streaming and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do a live show of us playing Paranoia. And so I'm excited for that because it's just so much fun, and we have never done it live before. But when we did it non-live, man, we were just I was just enjoying the gameplay, and what you get to be when you're the DM is just if you don't know the game and stuff, it is a very out of this world kind of game. It's basically you're I believe you're in outer space, and I, the DM, am your friend, the computer, and they are the troubleshooters. The players are the troubleshooters, and they are having to figure out what's going on or what needs to be done. And my friend computer is always directing them and telling them, as well as they're getting rid of a lot of traitors or whatever, mutant scum or something. And so it's interesting. It's like a very, there's no purpose to it. I think the best to explain it, but there is purpose. There's purpose without end. There's purpose without end. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it's a very enjoyable. So yeah, hey, come check us out in June, the first Friday of June, as we play this live. I'm super excited because I think we're gonna put in a lot of work into this and just have a lot of fun things. And I want audience engagement. Like, I want to get to a point where we're just have so much audience engagement because personally, like, the amount of things that my brother-in-law, I blame it on my brother-in-law, he does, I feel like I can handle a bunch of people on the chat kind of saying, oh, do this or do that. Like, I can role play. I put down the book and I usually listen to my players and stuff, or I put down whatever notes and I try to go back and forth, but I usually focus on trying to listen to my players and stuff and like what they're doing and reading them and allowing the story. Like, I usually try not to have too much story in my worlds, and I allow the stories to create out of themselves. It's a little bit crazy, but like I said, I'm a storyteller, and I can kind of put things together, and I think there's a lot of people out there that can do that, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that I can do that. I don't know what's going on in here, but I need to figure it out. So basically, I'm following a picture, and I'm trying to create whatever the picture is telling me to create, but it's kind of like, what's going on? It's like a big black chunk, and then there's like a little bit of a yellowish chunk. So what is taking place is we have, let me see if I can show it. This is going down, it's wrapping around, and it's going right here. I got to bring this back a little bit. This needs to be pulled back a little bit, I think. I think that's what it is. So let's go ahead and do that first. When I need to do a fix, and we'll do a fix. That. And then what it does is it goes, let me see. Finally, my brother. I love this song. I'm not gonna lie. I just like the intro. I mean, I like all of it, but I like the intro the most. Hold on, my God. So it basically goes down right here. It's my ability. Just gonna map it out. To my toes, I'm head all the way to my toes. All the way from my head, all the way to my toes. All the way. Forgive me. Should I do some singing? I was just playing the oldies and stuff. My dad played a lot of oldies, and I was like started singing away. Growing up and riding in the car and listening to the oldies. I'm just gonna say oldies because I don't know what your oldies is. If you're listening or people watching this, oldies are oldies. Yeah. Let's see what we got. Okay, so now I kind of just like mapped it a little bit better than what it was. Let me see if I can fix it because I need to make it more straight maybe. Let's get this in there. I'm not too concerned when it comes to just this part of it. It's like, whatever. Just paint it up, whatever. Just get all paint all over this thing. Canvas love paint. Canvases love paint. Give them as much paint as you can give it. They like it. Okay, get some of that white right there and even shorten that up a little bit more. Cool, let's get it. But you probably shouldn't. I'm too much in a rush sometimes, and I like to try to paint when the paint's still wet too, though, and it's like sometimes it screws me over. So that's when you don't want to give it too much paint. You want to maybe wait. We all have the tendency to be like, oh, let me just Like, darn it, didn't work. Okay, so let's get in there. Now I have somewhat a better idea of what's going on. And my mind is somewhat in it. Gotta remember what I was talking about. So, yeah, we are super excited to be running our games. Like I said, in June, it's going to be for Alzheimer's disease and stuff. The Longest Day, I believe, is what it's called. It is a program that we're going to be accepting donations and then putting it to that. So we're not too concerned about making the money and stuff or doing anything. We just want to have a good time. And for, I think the main goal for when we made it our station was just our show is, you know, that people can come and just enjoy television or enjoy watching something and not have to be concerned too much about the content. Like, we try to keep our content clean. Like, I don't yell at my players across the room like, hey, like, don't talk about that. we don't curse. I don't ever curse. One time I curse is like rough curses. Rough curses, I don't know how to explain it. I think it's just the way you use your words really a lot of the times. And I don't, like I said, I don't curse. I don't say the A word. No, I do say the A word. But I think it's when you're talking to direct, like I'm not saying like, oh, you're a word. I'm saying, I don't think I say a word. I say the S word. I'm saying, oh, but I don't say, I usually say shoot. I usually say shoot. I think it's a mental thing that happens to your mind when you become a Christian gradually and stuff. You kind of like stop saying things and stuff, you know what I mean? Just because you're not an angry person. It's not because you're like, oh, I need to watch myself. I need to watch what I say. You know, I need to be careful. Like, I'm a Christian. You know, just like how when everybody converts, that's how they mentally become. No. I think it's basically you become less of an angry person and you're not, you know what I mean, expressing anger with words. You know what I mean? Like, I think people curse a lot of the times because they're angry people. You know what I mean? Or they're just like used to using those words so much. And so for myself, like, I am a content person. I am content with my circumstance. I am not too concerned about I'm content on all things. So I'm like not as upset and stuff, easily upset or easily angered, and so I don't say curse words or anything. I feel bad because sometimes some people are like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't curse," and I'm like, "Well, like whatever, like it don't matter to me." Like, yeah, you know, it's easier to listen to sometimes if they're not cursing. But it is what it is, really. People, like there was a guy, I used to work in places where the guy would just listen to like the music, Little Dicky. Oh man, how much I hated Little Dicky. Even though I hated the music because it was just constant curse words and stuff, or constant like just vulgarness and stuff. But I was like, whatever. Like, hey, if you want to listen to what's called, I'll try to like zone out the words and just focus on the sound of it. But even the sound, I really don't care for. Like, Little Dicky is not written. His music was not written, I don't think. It's more for the words, like more for you to hear the words and be like, oh, okay, I like, you know what I mean? Like, I like the way he's talking. But yeah, I'm not really a fan. Cool. I'm moving through these conversations pretty well. Let's see. Fabric can be very tricky. There we go. Probably should put that gun. I don't know what it would be called. The part where you're like put your finger through. I don't know if they have like specific names, but let's get that in there. because it's somewhat missing. I'm not too concerned about like perfection right now. I'm just laying out the location of where it's at. Okay, and I'm using, look at that, I'm using blue. It looks like I care. I don't know if you can see the blue color and stuff, but I'm trying to make sure I got the right position, the right place where it's at. Because the amazing thing about when you're painting, if you guys are here to learn about painting, it's amazing about painting is like, cool. I can lay down this color and stuff, and I can keep working it and stuff, and it'll gradually like blend, and you'll be like, cool, it has that a cool color look to it, you know? So right now it has a nice blue color laid to it, but I'm probably going to be going over with a lot of other colors and stuff to kind of make it more different and stuff. Ooh, too much water. But let's finish it up. That part I made. And there was another part that I need to do, and it is right here. Yeah. So that part right there. Cool. So we got some pieces done. I'll get that there. Cool. Let that dry up. Move on. Can I go on to next? I probably need to finish up all the paint, the stuff that's not been painted. Fill it in. It's my usual go-to process for me, like painting and stuff. I try not to go too much into detail into areas until everything is fully kind of like filled in with just at least some kind of paint. You know, you can see missing gaps here and there of areas where it should have work done to it. So I like to just fill those in first. Let's see what we can do. I'm gonna add some color to it, give it some life. Cool, and we're gonna go back over there with some of this blacker. I'm just gonna go crazy with it. Whatever, I'm not too concerned about it. Gives it somewhat of a life and interest. I'm going to go over with a lot of colors, so you're going to, should say I'm going to go over with a lot of colors. I probably won't go over it with much colors, but it will all blend in the end. And it looks like there's some slits through some wood, so I'll get some white. It's like a very rickety house that he lives in, and that has like boarded up doors and walls and stuff, boarded up windows. Let me clean this up right here too, because this looks like it's off. Cool. Cool. And something's going on here. Obviously, colors are off, so let me fix that. Cool. So we're just gonna go pop that. I'm also working off of coffee too, so that's why I'm all over the place a little bit. Cool. And we'll just add a little bit of orange in there. I like to look at the painting and stuff, our picture, and see, look at it quick. What does it have in it? So basically, in here it has it goes from a tan color to a orangish color and stuff. And when I go back in and I do a lot more detail work, then this will all hide this fade or this paint brush look. But I may not. I may just actually just make it very rough and very abstractish, because maybe the focus is him, and maybe everything else is kind of washed back. I think this might have more detail, but then this might be washed back more. This will be a rough detail, like how it is somewhat right now. Might add just a little bit more texture into there. Okay. I am moving pretty well. Yay. Okay, and then this goes all the way up. And then there's that painter brush effect, or I kind of go back and forth and stuff when I'm painting to kind of like, when I do my strokes, I try to lay them when it comes to these sides areas and stuff like that, like fun. I try not to kind of make like solid, okay, let me finish this up as solid. No, I try to have fun with it, because when you look at the paintings and stuff, it has like interesting, it may not be like the right information that you're reading, but it looks cooler. I shouldn't say looks cooler. That's a bad word to use in paint, in paintings. It's a way of kind of like hiding the fact that you didn't put a lot of work into it, which is also another bad thing for me to say. But I'm all about like telling the truth when it comes to my paintings or my videos or anything I do. But basically, it gives your painting more to look at. So when I look over here and I see the beautiful detail in here and stuff, and then when I fade over to an area and stuff that doesn't have as much, then I have, maybe I put more, probably didn't as much as I wanted to. Let me see. And I'm not following the picture or anything like that, but I'm basically creating just ideas in there. I don't know if you can see it well in the camera, sadly, but you're creating just different stuff in here to kind of, make it seem more a little bit. It's a balancing act, and I think it's like as time goes, you'll have to learn how to pull that out when it comes to your paintings. Let's see if I can get it a little better. No, it's the lighting. Where you got lighting? But getting used to doing that and stuff, so that you're not having to put too much detail into a little area that doesn't matter too much, and it's like fading out your piece and stuff, or fading it out to where it's like it looks really cool, and you're capturing those brush strokes, and you're capturing that kind of flavor of the canvas, and you're making it feel more of a painting. You're getting that painting feel out of it, which I think people like. I like it and stuff. So cool. Got a good portion completed and gone through. Let's get back into talking about DC20. Probably should. So, as a DM running DC20, like I said, I don't plan to go back to that system of D&D. I do not enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed DC20 so much. I like it. It makes it so much easier for me. So currently I'm playing one game, and one game is with my wife. Before we were actually going live, me and my wife used to just play just me and her by ourselves. And when originally we were playing, like, it was just, we don't have anything else to do. Like, what should we do for our date nights, or what should we do? And I like D&D, but it's only me and her. And so it was kind of bored, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we can't run D&D by ourselves. And we'd always say that every week, and then after a while I'd be like, yeah, let's try, I guess, if we have nothing else to do other than just, like, talk, you know what I mean? Like, it may be different for other people, but we've been married for 7 years and stuff, and we spend a lot of time with each other already, and it's like, you don't have much to talk about. We don't have much to talk about to each other, and so yeah, we started to play. There's some white in here I need to put in there. I'm missing. We started to play by ourselves and stuff, just me and her. And originally it was hard to do because my own personal TRPG, these kind of games, majority of the games, TTRPG games, unless that they're like built to be single player or by yourself, whatever, however you play it, they are meant to be D&D. I think even as well as DC20 is meant to be played in a group of people. Because when we started playing D&D by ourselves, just me and my wife, it was a challenge because I was like, oh shoot, yeah, you are not fully prepared. You can't handle that, or you. And I feel bad now. I'm putting you in, you know what I mean? And it wasn't just, okay, well, maybe I should just give her just one monster, or give her that, or give her, you know what I mean? We would run it, I think. I think I can remember our first episodes, our first times when we were playing together. We were playing, and she would fall down. I would probably beat her up until she was down. And I was like, oh. And then I always have to have a recovery system for her. Because it wasn't workable. Like, she was playing a ranger and stuff, and it wasn't easy to do. Just herself and stuff. Like, you need those other characters to kind of like help you and stuff and provide for you. You just be by yourself. It doesn't really make it easy to kind of play the game. You need those other players, and even like role playing too. It was like so difficult because it's like, you're here. What do you want to do? What do you just talking to other people? You know what I mean? The important thing about playing as a group, you're getting to talk, and you're getting to everybody has a voice and is able to say something, and it allows you to kind of like build off their ideas as well. Like, here I am listening to saying this, and this person might see it in a different way or whatever, or react differently. So we're missing a lot of that. And then we tried it again, or we would play through it, I think. And then I think I, as a DM, started to realize things in my game and bring those more into it when it came to just me and her play. And so it got better and better as it went. And I think it was because I was adding more NPCs and to creating more story. Adding more players and creating more story. Allowing that conversation. I think the biggest thing when it comes to one player play is that conversation. That conversation part. Like, we, compared to groups will always tend to kind of blend into funny. Well, for the majority of times, blend into like a humorous kind of vibe. But when you play with a single player, and depending on your relationship with that player, ours is still humorous, but we're able to capture moments pretty strong. I'm able to kind of focus my I could have, as long as you're I think it's going to say a good DM, but as long as you're good enough, if you're good enough to kind of role play multiple characters at the same time as a DM, then hydrate. As long as you're able to kind of role play a multitude of characters at the same time, then it like for me and stuff, like I enjoyed being able to play this character and this character at the same time, and then just being able to communicate from one voice to the next voice as the DM, and then also kind of like crafting those ideas in their head and stuff. It's just we have so much enjoyment and so much depth in our game compared to my other one. Our group game is fun, and I love all of our personalities, but I like me and my wife's game because I feel like it has so much depth to it. If you're looking for games that have more depth, you want your D&D game, your DC 20 game to have more depth. If you're like, I feel like we're not taking serious, or it's not, truth, you know what I mean? It's not like, somebody died. You got to have like serious, like, I killed off their character, their favorite character, you know what I mean? No, it's to try to create that. I think, I think that's a tendency that a lot of times we feel like we have to do. We have to kind of get somebody close and then kill them off so that they can kind of be like, well, how do you feel about that? It's like, no, I think I would recommend, if people who are listening are interested, and if they have a willing player, play it on your own and get through that uncomfortable stage of having to do that. But you as the DM have to be prepared because what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to introduce an additional character, and that character is going to have to be their friend. And then you as the DM have to then decide, how do you want this to be played out? Do you want this NPC to have stats and abilities that you control or that the player controls? And so that's the challenge they have to go through. And you can listen to ours, and we really haven't decided that fully. Like I've kind of been ping-ponging it back and forth, and I'm not too concerned about it. Because story-wise, as long as we love our story, like in the end, like as long as my wife, I like the story, I like how that went. That was exciting. That was fun. I enjoyed that roller coaster. And she herself, it's like, oh yeah, I enjoyed that as well because that was a crazy that worked out. Like I don't too concerned. And we try to still stick to a rule system. You know what I mean? I think in our recent game that we ran, it was really fun because I was able to go into a combat with them, with her, and I ran her friends, and rather than giving them all each turn, I think you also gotta. For me as a DM, truth be told, like I run the encounters probably completely different than a lot of most people do. And my thing is more for story rather than for actual mechanics and stuff. I don't cut the health, or I don't do that kind of stuff. I try to keep it very true to it. But basically, when my wife she ran hers, she took her actions, and then the monster took his actions, and then on her turn again, it wasn't actually her turn. It was her two NPC friends' turns, and I just combined them and split their actions however I wanted to split them. So one of them moved this way, the other one moved that way, and it made it a lot easier for me as the DM to kind of be able to do that. And then it was my what's called again, So it's for, like I said, for DC20, they're figuring out a lot of things, and it can be challenging for us to kind of like learn to try to change the game, and we're having to change the game because, like I said, we're playing one player and stuff, and that's not a usual thing, I don't think, a lot of the times, into making that work. And but as long as we're having fun and we're using a lot of the base mechanics, and then gradually, hopefully, as we go on and on, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. We're getting better at running these and just making it more for sure. So yeah, gosh. Let's see if I can get in. Gotta drink more water. Okay. I'm done. Cool. Let's keep going through it. I can do this all day. I just need food. I just need to step away and get some food. I wouldn't be able to do it all day. So I'd just be too tired of talking. Okay, let's get everything covered up, and then I'll go ahead and end this for the day. This was really fun. Okay, and then we're gonna do in here again in the stargaze. Okay, is there any more pinks anywhere? So that needs to be. Yep. Like I said, I am just laying down the inks and just filling all those pink areas in. The pink area is basically where I had originally had my it's the base paint. So I like it. This is something I've been trying out, which is basically just painting the canvas with a somewhat of an interesting base, and I feel like it kind of just gives it a present. So, and so I will keep doing that. I'm curious to see every time I do a different color, what color it does. I have a couple actually different paintings with different colors. But yeah, let's see. Need to cover these up. Yeah, so I'd love to hear you guys' opinions on DC-20. There. So I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I need to get leveled up and start running my... No. There. Then I need to get more white up in here. Cover up this one. And then I think this. Okay. Like I said, I'm just covering up a lot of the pink areas, the purple areas, I should say. Go back and forth from the picture to kind of take a look how it is, but we're just basically covering it all up with a color paint, so that when I paint over it and clean it up, you won't be able to look at it and be like, oh, it wasn't all that finished. Okay, let's get a little bit of this. I move pretty quickly. Like I said, I've been getting more into that kind of like, say moving pretty quickly, but just like trying to, I'm not too worried about paint when it goes on. Not too worried about paint when it goes on, because we can always go over it for the most. So, as long as if I don't put any paint on there, then I won't be finishing this until like another year. But gradually put on here and there every so often, and it's like, so. And then I like the idea of kind of just like working until you feel like it's like, yeah, it's done. I think that's a good, really. Annoys me. And then there's some spots up in here too I need to get rid of. All that pink, gosh, there's so much pink. Where did it all come from? Okay. Let's get black up in here because it's gonna cover up pretty well. Cool. Use my finger a lot when it comes to touching up stuff. It's easy to kind of get rid of it, or to kind of just give it a nice blend or balance into it. So we got some stuff going down here as well. Originally there's like a little pistol, but I don't want to have him all gunned out. I don't want him to look too. I want him to just look like a guy who just came out and said, "Who the heck is on my property?" And then has to pull and get ready is what's called, you know? I mean, this is kind of like the idea behind this painting. I do not know, but I'll talk about maybe right now what my mental game is for it. Not being prepared? No, he's prepared. I think that what you have to face sometimes, you know what I mean? You have to like, things that you'll have to face, and you'll have to step outside of your front door, and you'll have to face these things and stuff. And I think it has to do with me being like more of a, being more of a father. I have young kids and stuff, and it's an understanding. Like even once you get married, I think you start to realize that you're a protector now, you know, and it's good and it's bad. You know, it's good and it's bad. I think the bad part of it is You in your youth don't want to be a protector. You want to be protected, but you also know that there is that calling to you to be that protect. You have to, like, you're going to have, like, somebody, nobody's going to come and protect you. You need to go out there and protect, protect your family, hard to explain, hard to say, but God, I know that my Lord, my God will protect me in all things, and I have faith and I have trust in Him that He will take me, and I can have comfort in that. But I think protecting my family from the enemy will come, and truth be told, it's not going to be like me going to the door and being like, yeah, go away, we're not interested, and they're like, okay, see you later. No, it's going to be like, yeah, you need to go. Yeah. I'm not talking about boys, but I am talking about boys. No, I'm not talking about boys. An interesting learning experience, I think, that I know I'll be growing more and more in. I think this is someone has to do with it too. Is just that my little daughter and stuff. She's little. She's only 3 years old. There are these little ready little boys that are going around, whatever, close. I think they were two of our friends of a family. And these boys are probably around my son's age, around 4 or 5 or 6. And they were at a park while playing and stuff. And then they were holding her hand and taking her all the way far away around the park and stuff. And I was like, yeah, no. Like, but I was telling her, and she's only 3 years old. And my wife was like, yeah, she's not fully there yet. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, but I'm ready to kind of like instill this good nature into it, which is like, if these boys, if any boy, and even when you get older, if any boy wants to be with you or be around you or hang out with you, then they can come and they can hang out around your daddy as well. They can be around me as well. You know what I mean? Because I want them to be comfortable enough to come around me. I'm not going to be this guy with a gun pointing and saying, "Get the heck out of here." You know what I mean? But I'm going to be that man for my daughter, that's going to be like, "Come, sit here," you know what I mean? Enjoy, come sit at my table and do, like, as long as you guys are, but don't go running and going hiding off. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Because if you do, then I will pull out my gun and I'll be like, yeah, you need to go. You know what I mean? So I will protect my family. I will make sure I raise my daughter up and I'll take care of her and love her and stuff. And like I said, I think this is painting kind of pulled out of a lot of that. You know what I mean? Was, look, I am a good man, and you can come over and you're here, and I will welcome you, and I'll love you, and I'll care for you, and I'll treat you like God intended me to treat you, with love and gentle and kindness. But yeah, if you just try to take my daughter and take her, then I will pull out my gun and I'll be like, yeah, nope, she's not going anywhere. You little 6-year-old who's trying to lead her over her way, I'll come after you. No. Yeah, it's different. It's amazing. It's amazing being a father and stuff. I enjoy it and stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited because my wife signed me up to go to do the daddy-daughter dance thing and stuff, and I love dancing and stuff, and I don't know. I just my daughter, she's really pulled a lot closer to me in the last couple of days, so she's mentally gotten older, her mental personality and stuff. She said, "Oh God, I don't know. I imagine all girls are like it, but little girls are stubborn, or all girls are just mean. Like they're like, no, and it's like, and I always got to remind her, hey, you can tell me that, but tell me it nicely." So she does a better job of it. But yeah, I'm super excited to go this little daddy dance thing and stuff, and I'm very grateful and stuff. Sometimes she just wants to hold me or be held and stuff, and it's really nice. And I think that's what the great thing is of being a father. So yeah. Okay, did I paint in all pink? No. Let's get on it. I should keep going back into the DC-20. So, yeah, my players right now, what we're doing is we're taking a break from DC-20. I want to get back into it because I love recording. Now that I'm excited because we got so much newer things in, newer equipment in. And we've been working it a little bit better and stuff. And I'm excited to just get on the screen and start putting content out there and stuff, and just us having a good time and But it's been a challenge because like players and stuff, we can't control the players and stuff. We can't control the people who play. They got lives too and stuff, and we don't make money. So, but I try to make sure I leave that room open for my players. It's like, I'm not going to force you guys to play, and I appreciate you guys coming out and playing, and I'm not going to try to ruin your guys' fun. Like, I don't want to ruin their fun with our recording. That's one of the things I always tell them I don't ever want to do to them. I don't want to ruin their fun with our recording. Except for the food. I told them the food got to go. They try. Sadly, they try. They're like I'm just gonna bring this here, and then I don't mind it sometimes and stuff. I just like fruit. I don't know. I would love to get other people's opinions when it comes to like eating during the sessions and stuff. I don't know how people do it. Like how people like. I'm not gonna lie. Like or like eating like soup or something, or what's called like. I don't know. I like that's just like kind of like a. I don't watch enough streams, I guess. My wife watches a lot of those eating things, but no, I'm like, I don't know I don't want to watch that person eating food. I want to just. I guess you don't get much and stuff when it comes to like the talking head things and stuff. I think people talk about, and so that's where our kind of struggle will be at too. Is like, it's hard. We gotta give more to the audience because we're new and not everybody wants to just sit and watch people talking. And it's not something I wasn't. I was never curious to kind of watch people talking either. I'd always listen to it, and so that's why originally we wanted to go into podcasting, and that was my thing. I was like, oh yeah, like I like the podcasting thing. I think we should do that, and then I didn't go into that as well as I went into the YouTube, and now we're in YouTube and stuff, and I haven't been paying attention to the podcast. I don't know how really it works too much, how to get more audience, but we'll see. But yeah, so going on I mean, that's part of painting, I guess, going on tangents and forgetting about what you started out with. Yeah, so my players, we're taking a pause from it. We want to play it, but we're waiting for the subclasses, I think, to come out, and then we're going to get back into playing it. But I think I'm scared a little bit too, truth be told, because it's been a while since I ran. No, I shouldn't be. I'm scared of that. Maybe I'm more scared of the story because there's a lot going on. I think like we've had to pause our game so many times, and like the last time that happened to us, where we had to pause the game so many times, we ended up just quitting it and like saying, you know what, like guys, like we don't fully know where we were at or where we left off, or and so I don't want to do that in a live stream, or not a live stream, but with our episodes. We're trying to do things different, and we're trying to do parts so that when we record, we will record like maybe 2 sessions, 2 nights, 2 sessions, and that will be completed, the story. And then I can then chop up the story and add it to the YouTube and stuff, and say, oh, this is in the old house. Follow along as the traveler's old house. It's not connected to any kind of story. That's our thing. We're like connected to any story or anything. To connect it to any story, just try to keep it base, like you're following the characters and they just doing whatever. So see how far that goes. Okay, I think I have all the pink painted in. Doing it with whatever color I have just to get it done. It doesn't matter. It don't matter. Like I said, that's what I usually do when it's like gives it more flair. See how that works. Okay, I think I'm just about. I just need, maybe should probably fix this now. Let's try to do one more thing before I go and I leave off. This was a fun experience. If you guys are watching this, This is the first time I've ever live painted online and stuff, and probably won't be the last time now. I think I got a feel for it. The hard part for me when I was just doing it and stuff was just getting that camera place right, getting the lighting right, and it's like, this thing's it's not easy, you know. I think I'll get better at it as I go, but at least I'm on here now. So, and I also like talking to my wife knows that. We went to the. I probably shouldn't be talking. Sometimes I kind of realize maybe I shouldn't be talking too much. When we went to our marriage counseling and stuff before we got married and stuff, I think the marriage counselor was kind of talking about how like, oh, she's gonna want to talk and blah, blah blah, and I'm like, it's not gonna be her, it's gonna be me. I'm gonna be the one that wants to talk about everything and all things, and I want my wife to listen. So that's what I like to do. I like to talk. So we're super excited. We're gonna be continually running DC 20. Let me just get this done. Cool. So let's put that in position. Hello. Cool. For now, we're not fully done, obviously. So our players, we will be running DC 20. We're super excited to be playing it. We are figuring out. My concern would be probably once the subclasses come, it's going to be a bit of a learning curve challenge that we're going to have to relearn some of the new abilities. Whenever we get new abilities, it's always a challenge to run those new abilities because sometimes my players will be like, okay, I'm doing this, and they're having to flip through the page. And so when it comes to recording wise and stuff, it's always a bit of a challenge because it's like, okay, we got to pause, and we got to pause for maybe too long. Like for us sitting there, it's like an hour, but it's actually maybe just a couple seconds that have gone by. But yeah, it's a learning curve and stuff. But we will plan on growing through DC 20 and adding those subclasses and running another story. And I want to animate it. My wife says don't animate it because it takes up so much of my life to do this fun animations. It's somewhat simple for me, but it does take up a lot of time because I'm also trying to do paintings. I'm also trying to do t-shirt designs. I'm also trying to do other work stuff, also trying to take care of kids. And so it's not always a beneficial thing for me. But yeah, we are going to be doing another session of play and recording it as a part and then putting it out there and stuff. So we don't want people to kind of come to our show and be like, oh, they're at episode this. I have to catch up to that. You know, I want them to be able to just watch a section and just enjoy it, and just enjoy where they're at. So yeah, we're going to be playing DC 20. And my wife, we're continually going through our story with it. Trying to think. Yeah, I think that's it, really. Yeah. So hopefully I'll have more things to talk about and stuff on the next time when I do some painting. And I'll set myself a limit of what I need to paint and focus on that and then stop to talk. Because it's going to be a bit of a challenge and stuff when it talks about certain topics like the DC 20. So yeah, thanks for guys for watching, and we hope that you have enjoyed. And now I will end this